Hi, this is Karen again. Thank you for joining me. This is lesson 5, titled Take It Slow. The work premise, again, for review, is that the personality self decisions are made in the past. So when you're connected to your personality self purely, you're making a decision from the past experiences that you've had. Soul self decisions are made in the moment to moment awareness is what we call it. So when I say take it slow, our personality selves are strong. Our habits are strong. That's our makeup. This is who we are, who I define myself as. And what I want to do with this is say, I love me. But let's work on this. Let's work on X habit. Let's work on something that I no longer appreciate about myself. So we want to be kind and gentle to ourselves as we're taking on this new adventure. We don't want to make it into a dreary task that we've assigned ourselves. We want to be a joy-filled adventure. An adventure. I think that's my favorite word to call it. It needs to be a challenge. An adventure is a challenge if you think about it. The flow of an adventure is a little bit like this, good days and bad days. So when you say, I am now going to connect with my higher self all day long, that's nice. That's admirable. However, let's be kind as we do that. Let's be kind as we learn the new habits and learn them in a way that our personality self goes, oh yeah, I kind of like that. We don't want to say, you are going to do this whether you like it or not. It doesn't work when someone says that to me. I immediately sit down like a donkey. I try not to, but I still do it. So it stands to reason that if you're trying to tell your personality self, you will do it this way from now on, you're going to sit down like a donkey. It just isn't going to flow for you. So we really want to lovingly attack this work to say, I want to be different in these ways. I want to enjoy doing these things and thinking this way and creating this type of life. But treat ourselves as you would a child. You wouldn't say to a child, I want you to start doing this activity from now on. You wouldn't say that without expecting some forgetfulness, some blowback. We need to understand that we're going to have instances of fear, forgetfulness, and pure out disdain for needing to put energy into something that is so different than what we were raised with, what we raised ourselves with, what we created in our environment. I find that I do great with my habits for a long time, and then all of a sudden something will pop into this environment of mine and trigger me. I'll have some sort of reactive behavior or some sort of thought, negative thought that I personally no longer get excited about having. I want to get rid of those for whatever reason. And when I have those experiences, I need to value them and say, okay, I'm going to take a breath. I just lost my cool. I am so not in the moment, and I am so not flowing. I am in a state of chaos, and I have a choice to make right now. Do I want to enjoy that for a moment? That's your right. It is your personality self. But sometimes I find that I go, oh my gosh, I'm doing it again, and I like it. Or I go, I'm doing it again, and yeah, I'm not really excited about that. And I do both. Even now, having done this for years and years and years, there are times when I go, you know what? I like that feeling of downward flow. I want it. I'm in a mood right now. Obviously, I don't have those moments very often, but they do still occur. It gives me something to work on. I want to have, when I take a breath, I want to look at myself. What occurred just now? What energy was flowing around the room? What did I get triggered by? Because I want to learn. I want to learn about me. I've been just going rote, existing. And now I want to learn about me and find out what brings me joy, what brings me down, what is the downward spiral triggers that just push my buttons. I have buttons. I think we all do. But I've got some nice buttons. They're pretty big sometimes. And when my button gets pushed and I go into reactive behavior and I don't take a breath and try to connect with my higher self, again, you can think, I like this energy, or, oh, I think I'm not going to do that. I said I wasn't going to do that. Darn, darn, darn. Well, in retrospect, do you think, God, I fell off the wagon. Why did I fall off the wagon? I was doing so good, and blah, 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 blah. Negative self-talk. When you participate in negative self-talk, because it's your personality self, it's the habit, see if you can take a breath right in the middle of it. Take a deep breath and just see what happens. See if something, even little shifts, see if something is different from while you were going negative, negative, negative. Take a breath, see if there's anything different. And if so, identify it, find it, feel it, make it bigger. And by making things bigger that are energy, you just pretend. Again, pretending is a very powerful thing in the beginning. Pretend that it got the good, the feeling that you suddenly like, got bigger. Just get bigger. Make your energy bigger. Pretend. Just like with the fog, you're pretending that it's going away. So what we want to do is say, I am aware that I have buttons, and sometimes I flow really well with my personality self engaged and joy-filled, and sometimes I don't. Now, sometimes when your buttons get pushed, the energy is very strong around you, from your inside as well as the outside of you. And if that's the case, you may not be able to step back, take a breath, and look at it. It is sometimes extremely powerful, and you're really not in the mood, you don't have a desire to do it, you just aren't going there. And that's okay. When things calm down, when the energy is not quite so chaotic, try to find yourself in the moment again. Take a deep breath when things slow down. And the reason I say this is we really want to go slow with this stuff. It's infused into every one of our cells. Our old habits are there, and they're there to stay, in their opinion, right? And so when you have an experience that's extremely powerful, it's a jewel. It's a teacher for you. Don't just push it away. Stop when things are calmer and sit down and think, oh, that was interesting. Whoa. Well, I kind of blew up there. Wonder what that was about. Just look at it and observe without judgment. That's hard. You're looking at your actions, you're looking at your words, you're looking at your thoughts, you're looking at the room energy, your energy. Just observe and say, wow, okay, I get that. When I'm in those situations, this is my natural tendency. Again, you don't want to get into negative self-talk. oh, this was terrible. I can't believe I did that again. I did it again. Oh my goodness, I was not going to do that. Stop it. All you need to do is observe it. The moment you take a breath and observe the past, you're connecting with your higher self. You're connecting with your soul self. And by doing that, you can see more clearly what happened. In the moment when that happened, you probably couldn't do it. There was too much energy attached to it, too much downward flowing energy. So when you've now chosen to sit down and think about it, without judgment, just observe, just watch it happen. Now, so then you're probably expecting me to say, once you observe it, you should do X. But I'm not. If this is slow stuff, observe it. Try to learn from it. Do your own investigative work with love and light. Think of it as that child. You're thinking about how to respond to what the child just did. You connect to your higher self. And then you go, well, that was a big one. Sure was. And you file it away. You don't sit there and say, well, next time I'm going to do this. See how you're forcing it? What you want to do is bring your breath into the memory of what you just did or a few minutes ago. You want to try to do this while it's still fresh, but not powerful fresh, if you get my drift. We want to go to those situations and see if we can find the energies and sit with them and say, wow, that was pretty powerful. I think I felt that in my solar plexus, or my heart was killing me. I was really sad. Whatever it was, just sit with it and embrace it like you would a child that's crying, perhaps, or that's sitting there pouting. They're sad about something that has happened. Be your own best friend as you're doing this work. Again, no one can do it for you, and no one can do it to you. You've chosen to say, I want to lead a more peace-filled life, and these are some of the steps that I'm going to take. Sitting with yourself and understanding that an activity was a pearl. Some of us have very long necklaces and earrings and rings. Pearls are maybe on the floor. You have to crunch them as you walk because you have so many pearls in your life, and that's okay. Our goal is to say, in this moment, I feel peace. I'm looking at what happened a little while ago. Now, if you don't have anything to look at a little while ago, you can go back further. Find a situation that you feel that you lost it, or that you didn't conduct yourself in the way that you want to now. And you can sit with that. We don't want to run away from thinking about these things, but we don't want to dwell on them. We're just taking it slow. We are looking at how our personality self deals with stressors around us, how it absorbs some of that downward flowing energy and builds it up, and how our personality self really enjoys that. Our ego enjoys that because we feel strong and powerful, and whoosh, it just comes over you. So observing yourself in a loving way and an accepting way is extremely important. We don't want to bulldoze any of this information. Pre-plan an activity. If you feel that you're about to lose it, I know I'm walking into this environment. Remember, we talked about in the last lesson, take a deep breath, call in help, and say, I would like to have a peaceful interaction in the environment I'm about to enter. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. Sit down later, reflect on it, and see what you can do. Just be slow, deliberate, and very loving with yourself when you do this. I love talking to you guys. It's always a joy. Leave comments. in the comment section if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.